everyone, my name is Aida. So today we are going to discuss on principle of animal production in Indonesia. In Indonesia, livestock production practice are involving meat farming, combining crops and livestock. Okay, next we move to characteristic of livestock. The first one is poultry farming. It is broadly divided into two types, which are commercial farms in various business scale and traditional, which are non-commercial. Almost all commercial breeders keep purebred chickens and vice versa. Almost all traditional breeders raise chicken village. We move to large ruminant farm. In large ruminant farms, breeders are also divided into breeders commercial in various business scale and traditional breeders. Breeders commercial consists of farmers, fatteners, and breeders. Farmers, fatteners generally get feeder cattle through import in the form of Brahman cross bulls or females, and only a few of these commercial breeders which uses domestic feeder cattle, mainly for reasons of value economical. In small ruminant farms, the maintenance patterns is almost similar to the maintenance on beef cattle and buffalo. Okay, now we are going to discuss on current situation for Indonesian beef cattle production. Major systems in beef cattle production in Indonesia are divided into two systems. The first one is smallholder farming system and intensive feedlot systems. In Java Island, smallholder farmers are characterized by keeping between 2 and 4 head of cattle, coupled with integrating crop and livestock production and the use of stall feeding. In other areas, smallholder farmers may have more than 5 head or over 50 head. Since land is plentiful, these cattle are kept in extensive. In Indonesia, smallholder farmers do not only keep cattle to produce meat for the urban market, to support cropping with manure and draft power, but as a livelihood assets as well. Both stall feeding and extensive system, the utilization of low quality feed, mainly from crop residues as well as agriculture byproducts and other non-conventional feedstuff, is common practice. For intensive feedlot system, it is mostly located in areas near urban centers, particularly Jakarta. Purchasing feeder cattle and feed-to-finish cattle are the two largest variable costs for the feedlots industry in Indonesia.
Hi, I'm Hanani. So, we are going to discuss about feeding for livestock, which is cattle, in Indonesia. In smallholder farming systems, the utilization of low-quality feed include crop residue, agricultural byproduct, and non-conventional feedstuff. Crop residues are defined as less than 55% digestible and are deficient in true protein and with low levels of nitrogen and minerals. Crop residues are abundant and inexpensive. The quality of most grasses in tropical regions are generally low, with crude protein content 5.6% to 15.7%, neutral detergent fiber content 45.2% to 85.4%. Hence, supplementation also needed to be able to fulfill the requirement of animals for energy. In intensive feedlot systems, the utilization of agricultural and industrial byproducts as the main feed resources is an important strategy for Indonesian feedlots to improve profitability. Crop residues including rice straw, rice husk, sugarcane tops, corn stubble, corn stalks, and soybean hulls. Agro-industrial byproducts including cereal bran, coconut cake, palm kernel cake, soybean meal, molasses, biofuel co-products such as distillers, dried grains, and soluble, pineapple waste, tapioca byproduct, and coffee seed pulp. Non-traditional feed resources include oil palm leaves, palm pressed fiber, cassava foliage and other tuber foliage, sugarcane bagasse, cotton seed meal, rubber seed meal, cacao pod, fruit and vegetable waste, aquatic plants such as seaweed and former foodstuffs. Next, we are going to discuss about health management of livestock, which is cattle. The purpose of health management is to ensure the optimal care and well-being of cattle and to reduce losses in productivity caused by disease and management errors. There are some diseases that occurs in cattle farm, which is infection of gastrointestinal parasites, which cause weakness, decreasing appetite, weight loss, slow growth, anemia and diarrhea that can finally lead to death. The second disease is Gembrana disease, which is an endemic disease in Bali, infect blood and circulatory system and also nervous system of cattle. Ongol cattle and Friesian cattle develop a transient febrile response. The other diseases is brucellosis, vibriosis, leptospirosis, pestivirus, and foot and mouth disease. Biosecurity in cattle farm. The purpose of biosecurity practice is to preserve high health status in the animals by protecting them from new and existing pathogens and to ensure the production of safe food. Veterinary services include in cattle farm animal disease control and prevention, surveillance of disease such as brucellosis, anthrax and septicemia epizootica, vaccinations, and training. Second is public health and sanitation surveillance in slaughterhouse, markets and butchers, address issue animal health certificates for inter-island trade, and lab analysis. Based on the research that have been done by researchers in Luwu Regency, South Sulawesi Province, the biosecurity practice that have been done in cattle farm is sanitation, which is the highest, with 91.6%. Second is good management practice, 86%. Third, calf management, 65.3%. And the last is disease prevention, which is 47.4%. Disease prevention has the low percentage, which is 47.4%, is due to the low knowledge of farmers in disease treatment of livestock.
Next, I will talk about the breeding reproduction in Indonesia. Bali cattle are an indigenous breed with a widely distribution and the largest number of population in Indonesia. They are several other local cattle breed in Indonesia, which are direct descendants of India zebu, as well as crossbreed between a zebu and Bali cattle. Indonesia also has a crossbreed between a zebu and taurine, which is the grunting cattle are more popularly known as in Indonesia hosting Friesians and intermediate between a male hosting Friesians and female Ogulin crossbred. Animal waste in Indonesia can be catalyzed into a liquid waste, semi-solid waste, solid waste and gas. The amount and characteristic of livestock waste depends on type of livestock, number of animal, diet, water handling system. Our products start from reproduction of system and with utilization and decompose. Land application has fertilizer, treated wastewater is discharged into a river or used to wash the cage. Biogas production from animal waste in Indonesia. Production of biogas from animal waste has an alternative source of power generation in Indonesia. It is estimated about 3 years of biogas will potentially be generated from animal waste in Indonesia. This amount of biogas production will be utilized to generate electric power. Next, for the recommendations. One of the problems which caused the beef cattle industry to grow slowly in Indonesia is the absence of government regulation to protect farmers from middleman tender. Government regulation should cover activity from upstream, especially reproductions and feeding management, capital, small screen of credit and institutions to downstream reproduct and marketing. The performance of beef cattle on smallholder farm need to improve and some of the strategic to address on this issue. In their conclusion, we can note that the Indonesia, with the 250 million of people of the fourth largest country in terms of population, the increased demand for meat has not been matched by domestic beef production, the supply of which is less than 16% of the national demand of beef. The gap between beef supply and demand is increasing. That's all from our group. Thank you.